Hi, welcome to my channel, Zen and Fit. Today I'm actually going to be talking about just certain red flags you may notice that could be potential for a domestic violence relationship. But before I jump into the video, I do want to give an overview in case some of you may be new to my channel. On my platform, I discuss various topics from mental health, health and wellness, as well as lifestyle topics. A lot of my content is centered on Black women, but I think that other communities could benefit from my content as well. So if this sounds interesting to you, if you could please hit the like and subscribe button, and also share my content with anyone you know of that may be interested in this type of channel, that would be much appreciated because that helps me to keep doing videos on this platform. So some red flags that you want to take heed of, especially early on in a relationship, that could be a potential for domestic violence is a few factors. One of them is where if you feel like you have to constantly belittle yourself around your significant other, or else they feel intimidated or uncomfortable because of your successes, I'll say, or accomplishments in life. That's something to really think about, because you shouldn't have to do that. A significant other should be supportive of your accolades and be happy for you. And if it's the other way around, that's something to really consider, think about, and take seriously, because that poses a situation of envy and jealousy towards you that can lead to possibly violent situations down the road, even verbal abuse, as well as physical abuse. I remember in an interview that the late singer Whitney Houston gave, I think it was with Oprah Winfrey, and she talked about how she always felt the need to kind of like minimize her stardom to really try to uplift her husband, Bobby Brown. And she would tell people all the time, "I'm Mrs. Brown," which, there's nothing wrong with wanting to be referred to as by your spouse's last name. However, she was doing it more so to feel like she's not overshadowing him, and so that he doesn't feel insecure and doesn't get angry. And that's problematic. And I remember her saying, even in that interview, I think it was back in like 2009 when she gave it, or 2012, I can't remember the exact year, but I remember her saying that, things got so heated between her and her husband at that time that she claimed that he, basically spit in her face at one point during their marriage. And so you can see how the unhealthy dynamic just continues to fester, even when you try to appease and try to do so much to make that other person happy, to try to dim yourself, to make them seem bigger. It never works out. It becomes burdensome on you, and it becomes, of course, it takes an emotional toll on you. It just goes to show you can do everything you can to prop your significant other up if they have these feelings of resentment and envy towards you. And at the end of the day, it still does not go well, no matter what. So just taking heed if you're noticing that you have to continuously dim yourself down, belittle yourself to make someone else feel empowered, that's a problem. And that's an unhealthy dynamic in that relationship if you're noticing that type of pattern. Another trait to look out for, especially early on in a relationship, that could be a potential sign for domestic violence, is if you notice that your significant other takes issue when they're not the center of attention. Let's say maybe you're getting some attention, or maybe if you have a child and you're paying attention to your child and you notice your significant other has a problem with that. They take issue with that. That's something to be mindful of and take heed of, because that will continuously be a problem in your relationship, especially when you're noticing that early on. This is a trait that this person has, that they cannot cope or deal when They're not always the center of attention. And this goes into another trait also to look out for or to be aware of, is if you notice that your significant other is not empathetic. And what I mean by empathetic, they don't exude empathy for others. They lack this ability. That's a major sign for you, and something to really, really take heed of if you're noticing that. Let's say, for example, you plan to have dinner at 5 o'clock, but things ran over with work, and then let's say maybe you had to go pick up the kids afterwards, and so you got delayed, and so dinner didn't start until almost 6 o'clock, and your significant other is totally not understanding of that, not understanding of your situation, that you got delayed because of things that were outside of your control. That shows a lack of empathy. Another example of this could be, let's say you needed to go give your sister a ride to the mechanic shop because her car is down. And let's say your significant other is mad about this because they don't want you helping your sibling. Again, that shows that lack of empathy, that lack of understanding that, somebody is in need and you're trying to help your family member out. And this also relates to, because a lot of these traits really overlap each other, if you're noticing that. But this leads to the other trait I was going to talk about is, like, if you're with someone and they have a tendency to want to isolate you from your loved ones, your friends, whoever it is in your life. It's like you can only spend time with them. You're not allowed to spend time with other people in your life. That's a problem. And that should be something that's a red flag for you if you're noticing that. And especially early on in the relationship, if you're noticing that, let's say you tell your significant other, oh, hey, I'm going to go hang out with my girlfriends tonight, and they get mad about it. That's something to really take heed of, because that's not healthy, that you can't spend time with other people. Of course, your relationship with your significant other should be important, but it's okay to have other relationships outside of that. Having relationships with your parents, your other relatives, that's healthy and normal. And so if you're noticing that your significant other takes issue with that, that can be a major problem and can be an indicator for possibly domestic violence, because a lot of it's about power and control. And one thing I just wanted to make note of, these unhealthy traits that I was talking about in this video, is not only applicable to heterosexual couples. This can be also an issue among same-sex couples as well. Maybe you have a friend or a relative or somebody who is in a same-sex relationship and you've noticed some of these traits. So it's not just only among heterosexual couples where men are just the ones engaging in this type of behavior. And women too, I just wanted to also say that women can also exhibit abusive traits. It's not just only men, even though there's a higher prevalence according to the data that's out there. So I just wanted to give an overview of certain traits to look out for, especially that could be an indicator of an abusive relationship. I look forward to reading any comments you have on this particular topic. And if you can please hit the like and subscribe button, and also share this video with anyone you know that may be interested in this type of content, that would be much appreciated. And until next time, take care.